Hey guys, Mr. E here, and today we need to go over all of the information released with the press briefers. There's actually a lot of information in here, and there's a lot of photos that I hadn't seen yet when I made my initial reaction to the trailer and all that. And you know what? It's gonna really actually quite give us a lot of information about how this character plays and what their abilities and blitzes are. So that's pretty cool. And also, we get to see some of these alternate looks and the alternate stylings of the weapons we can use, which is also really cool. So yeah, if you're excited about Dark Tide content and you want to stay appraised on it, you should subscribe to me because I'm definitely your guy for that, I'd have to say. But let's first take a look at what we see here. My first thought when I see these pictures here is, why were one of these characters not chosen as the main character in the teaser trailer? Because I feel like these characters look so much cooler, especially this lady right here who's giving me those sort of eyes. These characters, I feel like maybe because they are so strongly gang affiliated, they didn't want that front and center, and they were instead like, okay, we should go with something that's like less gang and more ruffian, so it better fits the Hive Scum like archetype. Because yeah, I swear, like even right there, right, I was about to say Hive Ganger, but it's Hive Scum, and I think maybe that was an intentional decision to leave it vague as Hive Scum instead of making it a ganger. But when you look at these pictures, all you can see is like ganger, right? So honestly, we have 4 looks here, and I'm wondering if these 4 looks represent the 4 gangs. And this is something else that was released with the thing. There are 4 gangs that you can become affiliated with. I would have to assume is why these icons exist. We have the Carnival. We have the, I believe this is the Rail or Railway Gang or something like that. This is Steel Cartel, or sorry, they're called Cartels. Steel Cartel, and then that's the wrong picture. And then the Water Cartel. So those are your 4. So I think you'll probably choose one of these. You'll probably have additional options for your tattoos and stuff. And then it might even give you like different hairstyles and different colors. Also, if we could just stop clicking on the wrong pictures and shit, we can see that like these 2 characters here share the same tattoos, but I'm wondering if there are tattoos that are exclusive. Like this lady looks like she has some very like Asian styled tattoos with like a tiger or maybe like one of those long Asian style dragons. Pretty cool looking stuff on there. And like the eagle on the face paint. Yeah, would be very cool to see if there are different cosmetic options for each class. We've got piercings in here. We've got the ear piercings that the lady had. He's got a nose piercing. She's got something. She's got ear piercings. He's got nose and ear piercings and gold teeth. I don't know if maybe you're going to be able to change that. But pretty cool. And notably distinct from what we see when we go over here. I guess this is this lady. But she looks weird with her little hunched over neck there. This guy is, who is this? This guy? No, he's not. This guy's a different guy entirely. This guy looks like massive by comparison. Maybe she's just short height. It seems like the characters all have these Mobian 13th boots. It's strange. Like I wonder if there's lore behind that. That why all of the gangers, sorry, Scum, wear like these military grade boots. I guess you probably just don't want to be stepping in anything bad, so you steal boots. That's a time honored war strategy. He's got the dual Uzis, and then she has the dual shivs. And as far as I understand, this is the only melee weapon that is dual wieldable potentially. Let's check out, is there anything else that we can see and glean in here? No, just standing on a pile of rubble. Here is some first-person gameplay with those guns. Shooty. You know, what is what it is. And here is first-person gameplay with the dual shivs. Now, I wonder, I don't know if these weapons forced into being a dual wield weapon, or you can use them one-handed. I guess we'll find out. But these weapons, this is the default look of these weapons, right? There's also the other shiv that can come with the cosmetic pack that honestly I think looks worse than this. I think the twistedness of these shivs is really cool. I think that's a cool design choice. You wouldn't really be good in the case of actually, shivving anybody, because you just stop your blade like right there, and then you have to like break your wrist to turn it into them any further. But hey, if you stab hard enough, anything will work. So yeah, that's everything for the pictures. It'd be cool to see this in action, but I guess we'll see it soon enough, I suppose. Let's go over and check out this little press briefing here, and I'll read it out, and we can keep tally of all the things that we can now glean about this class, which is actually quite a lot. So, Stockholm, Sweden, November 11th, 2025. I'll miss that by a bit. Fight dirty and become the worst of the worst with Warhammers 40,000. Darktide's next class, Hive Scum, releasing December 2nd, 2025. The Hive Scum come screaming from the depths of the Hive, leaving destruction and mayhem in their wake. These dangerous cartel fixers represent the criminal powers that some say truly run Tertium. They are cranked for mayhem. The Hive Scum's access to concoctions of a more dubious origin is shown in their signature customizable stim. Pick your own personal chemical mix, balancing bonuses to tear up enemies. Then break out your toxin kit, drench your saw in toxic coatings, and control the streets with lingering chem bombs that set up foes for the kill. Wow, that's actually a lot to take in there. So are we dealing with is this just one of the abilities? This is a signature customizable stim, so it's signature, so that makes me think that every class has access to it. So it's like the dog, where it's just like a passive thing that you can do. I wonder if you load in with it every time, or if you can pick up multiple stims and then mix and match them, so you can do red and yellow and get orange stim and get the combination of that. So that's very interesting. If every class or every archetype of Hive Scum gets access to that. Pick your own personal chemical mix. Yeah. Okay, we got that. Then break out your toxin kit. Drench your saw in toxic coatings and control the streets with lingering chem bombs. The way that's phrased makes me feel like maybe those are two different abilities or kits of some sort. Because drench your saw in toxic coatings, what if that is one of the blitz abilities? It's a cooldown thing where you drench your blade and then you get a certain amount of time where it does extra damage. And then chem bombs are gonna be one of the blitzes for sure, right? This sets up foes for the kill. I wonder what that does. Maybe it's just like if they just hang in there for it's just really lasts a long time. I'm very glad to see that they're bringing the pox bomber mechanics to the classes. I always thought that was pretty cool, because if you didn't know how the pox bombers work in the game, their fog is volumetric. So they'll throw one, it'll cover a certain area inside a building. If another one gets thrown in that same area, it won't just double up in the same area. It'll continue to increase the size of the cloud. I always thought that was a pretty cool mechanic, and I was wondering if they would introduce that as a mechanic for players to use. It seems like they might be doing that here. Okay, so then we've got frenzied gameplay and dual wielding. These gunslingers and bladesmiths have a nifty trick up their sleeve. For the first time in Darktide, a class brings true dual wield experience. I can't fucking talk, guys. Twin wield pistols to overwhelm enemies with firepower, and dual wielding shivs to make you an efficient killer when the fighting gets close. Okay, so twin wielding pistols tells me that all of the guns that we saw, we've got the Needler, we've got the repeater pistol, and we've of course got the Uzis. Those are all dual wieldable, but it specifically says dual wielding shivs. So I'm guessing that cleaver we saw in the deluxe edition or whatever is not going to be a dual wieldable. But maybe they'll have other weapons that are dual wieldable, and they're just, they're just kind of saying that specifically for the trailer. What if there's other light weapons they can dual wield in the game? That will be very interesting to see. I wonder if these weapons, and I think I said this a second ago, but this is a different way to rephrase it. I wonder if these weapons are independently wieldable, so you have a right and a left hand slot, and then you can choose to equip a weapon that would take both, or you can choose to equip a weapon in your right or left, so you could mix and match the two dual wieldable or the three dual wieldable range weapons. And then for melee, similarly, you could do the same thing. That would be the cooler way to do it, but I wonder which one is going to be implemented here. The Hive Scum is an expert in makeshift weaponry, from crude shivs, brutal crowbars, to cruel saws for bone-shreddingly close work. We saw that already. Spray and pray from afar with your dual auto pistols and stub pistols. Pour lead, break ranks, don't stick around. So it's telling me we're going to be pretty freaking fast. We're going to engage quickly, you know, shatter the enemy formation, and then get the heck out of there. So it seems like we are some sort of like a zealot class. Like we're crazy, cracked out, you know, Slayer type. Claim Tertium on your terms. Unleash your playstyle with the Hive Scum talent tree. Oh, wow, it's a talent tree? Cool. Who would have thought? Become a hyper-aggressive hybrid fighter. Specialize in ranged firepower with explosives and toxins. Dart in and bail before the heretics fight back as a glass-jawed bruiser. Or carve your own path anywhere in between. Okay, so that tells us about the 3 archetypes that we have for, like, you know, the middle, left, and right paths on the tree. One of the paths here is going to be a hybrid fighter. So we've got like a class that can both go in and dual wield melee and then swap to those range weapons and be good at kind of both of them. So maybe like a weapon specialist sort of thing. There's range firepower with explosives and toxins. So confirm, like, there are probably toxins on some of these guns. I wonder if there are talents that add toxins to all ranged attacks with all weapons. If they could do that, if they could like augment in some way, I really am hoping that there is augmentation for some of these lesser weapons, like especially bullet weapons, especially if this class can't get access to las guns, but instead has access to auto guns, and these auto guns can get buffed by this class. That would be amazing. So yeah, range firepower, explosive and toxins, dart in and bail before the heretics fight back as a glass-jawed bruiser. That doesn't quite, like glass-jawed fighter maybe, but bruiser to me says like you take blows and you dish blows out. So that doesn't quite make sense, but like, yeah, so you're fragile, but you dart in and bail. I think this was actually something I was talking about in my initial video for it. Is like, okay, we've got charge skills, but we don't have a disengage skill. Like, it's really hard to extricate yourself from a fight once you picked it. But if there is a class, or if there's like an ability now where like it's a double activation and you can jump in, do like a burst of damage, and then jump out with like do a back dodge, like a big back dodge with the second activation, that could be really cool, because there's a ton of enemies in the game that like you see them expose themselves, make themselves vulnerable to an attack, and you can jump in and murder them really quickly. But like being mobile enough to do that is very difficult for a lot of classes. So that might be pretty cool to play around if they've got that sort of capability. No matter your approach, you'll have brutal abilities at your disposal. Tear through enemies with your abilities. Okay, well, that's not descriptive. Control the streets by disorienting your enemies with blind grenades. Okay, so this was, yeah, I was wondering. Okay, so this is not going to be stun grenades, right? This is blind grenades. I wonder how these are different. Like, you know, maybe it's just like anything in line of sight of the blind grenades. Like it's a flare, like a phosphorus flare where you like can't even look at it, or it just like erases your retinas. Or maybe they just stay, maybe they don't get stunned and stand still, but they are just like, they lose a ton of accuracy and they like can't even track you when they're trying to attack you for a long time afterwards. That sort of stuff could be super valuable if the enemies were like way more likely to miss hits on you and miss their shots. Or drop elites and monsters in a single blast with a devastating missile launcher. Okay, first of all, no way is whatever this is, a devastating missile launcher, can that drop a monster in a single hit, right? They didn't balance it so it has like 30,000 damage or whatever. Like that's just lying. Like I mean, I hope it does, but like that just seems like a lie. Okay, so what would that be on? Is that gonna be, that's a blitz maybe? Huh. So like, interesting. So they named the abilities here. We've got blind grenades. We've got a missile launcher. I would assume that is a blitz ability, right? If this is a blitz ability, and blind grenades is definitely a blitz ability, then chem bombs is our third blitz ability. Man, it's so difficult to pick out here. Maybe the toxic coatings is an ultimate or something, but then we have, yeah, so yeah, maybe that could be the ultimate for the ranged thing where we're like coding the thing. I don't know. That sounds really cool, but like there's definitely a lot of stuff. Maybe I'll like lay all this out in a visual form and try to like pair each one to each archetype and see how close I can get. Make them cower. Tell your story through reimagined full-body tattoos, gritty hairstyles, and the first ever face paints. Choose from 6 distinct voice sets across 3 personalities, so your scum doesn't just look the part, they own it. Command respect and make the Streets of Atonement remember your name. Hive Scum follows the release of the RBDs class, which was released earlier in the year. $11.99. Okay, so the same price. Makes sense. I think the previous price point was pretty reasonable. It sold pretty well. So there you go, guys. That's a lot of information. Maybe I'll make another video where I like try to draft up a talent tree and like see if we can place the right things in the right place, like a game of Guess Who or something. Hopefully we get some more information pretty soon. I mean, we've only got like 2 weeks until the release date of this, so they got to start like trickle feeding some of that stuff out. If it's anything like it was in the last a couple times we did this, they actually, for like, you know, for the Bound by Duty update, they didn't actually hard launch any of the information, like the hard information about the talent tree or stuff. They just kind of talked about it generally. Same thing with the RBDs, right? They soft launched the talent tree for it. It was like, you know, this is generally what's on the talent tree, but the actual talent tree wasn't out until embargo day. And then like content creators like yours truly were able to bring it to, you know, the public first. So maybe that's what they'll end up doing here. I certainly hope so, because I like being the early access for people. But that's really cool. I am excited to see this. These are cool ideas. Like, I wasn't that jazzed seeing the trailer because it's like a crowbar and then some Uzis. But like poisons and tox bombs and a missile launcher, that seems pretty cool to me. That honestly seems pretty cool to me. That's the sort of stuff that like I think that we could need more of, is like some cool damaging stuff like that that really like feels different than what we got. But anyway, that's enough rambling for me. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Remember to like and subscribe. I don't know what this is going on up here, but I'll see you real soon. Thanks. Bye.